Hello and welcome to the special coverage of Mint's India Investment Summit 2020. On the sideline of the panel, I'm in conversation with Shweta Jalan. She is the MD of Edwin International. So, Shweta, welcome to the show. So, you have done a lot of investments and deal in the consumer space. So, what is your outlook on the consumer space in India, especially because India is going through a slowdown as far as the consumption goes?
So I think the way we've looked at these investments is not from a 6-month, 12-month, 18-month horizon. We've looked at what we like is the underlying domestic consumption theme. And we've really looked at this, from a 4 to 5 year horizon. And I think we truly believe that the underlying, demographic profile of this country still lends itself to long-term domestic consumption growth. Now, there is no running away from the fact that, not only this year, but the last 2 or 3 years, we have been swimming against the tide somewhat, right? Because there have been disruptions in growth because of first demonetization, then GST, and then last 12 months, you are seeing, cyclical, structural, I'm not in a position to comment, but a GDP growth slowdown, which is impacting, of course, the consumer industry. But, if I put that in perspective, what does that mean? Does that mean these companies are declining or degrowing? I don't think that is the case, right? The question is that you probably thought they will grow at a certain pace and they're growing less than that. I think that's a part of being in emerging markets and growing countries where you will see these ups and downs. But on balance, you just have to tide through this, work with the companies to ensure that you're using this time also to improve the underlying strength of the company, which is either their brand, marketing, using it to build market share for some of these companies, operational improvement, so that when the inflection point in growth really comes back, you're in a real position to capitalize on that.
Right. So, in a situation as this, because they're at a slower pace of growth, do you think the valuations that they're commanding is correct now?
I think in pockets they are better, but I think by and large, I think it's still not pricing in the slowdown to the extent it should. So the fact that the slowdown is not going to change overnight or not going to change in 1 quarter, 2 quarters is not fully priced in today. Our hope is that you have definitely seen a softness and you will continue to see some more softness and hopefully correction to never cheap, but at least hopefully closer to fair market value than it's been in the past.
Right. So you said that probably you're not doing the consumer deals for short term, but for a long term, which is like 4 to 5 years, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So by 4 to 5 years, you're seeing a turnaround in the economy?
Well, all of us are investing with that hope, and we do believe that there will be a point where you will see some kind of an inflection from where it is today, right? It's not imminent. We do believe that next 3 to 4 quarters will still remain a bit challenged, but I think longer term, 4 to 5 years.
But at this juncture, there is coronavirus outbreak, cases of which are also reported in India. Does it give you? Does it make you conscious about the investment decisions that are going to do in the next few quarters?
This is obviously a big epidemic which is hitting the entire world, right? So I don't think it's one unique to India. I think what you will have to do when you look at any company today, whether it's consumer or otherwise, is you have to look at the impact that it may have in, I would say, the real short term over the next, again, few quarters, right? And you have to factor that into your investment. That doesn't mean that, you stop investing. In fact, I would say that, this is actually a good opportunity, right? When there's any massive market dislocation, for whatever reasons, it's probably a time that private equity will probably find better valuations and you can capitalize on that and probably see whether you can find better deals. But pricing will be critical because you will have to factor in a slightly slow next 9-12 months and price your transactions accordingly.
Right. Shweta, one last question. What are your learnings from attending the annual investment summit?
I think this is obviously very well organized and well attended summit. You get to hear about a very vast variety of topics which spans across investing in different asset classes, whether it is credit, private equity, and real estate. So we get a broader perspective from an different asset classes standpoint. And I think it's quite comprehensive because it then brings in sort of the legal issues around investing in the regulatory framework, and you get to hear a variety of a myriad point of views across the various aspects that impact our day-to-day life in investing.
Thank you so much, Shweta, for talking to us. For more details, stay tuned.
Thank you.